Oh, the Netflix one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty good?
The art style and the
storyline
is really good.
But I'm a
Castlevania fan,
I've
so
played
I've played
most of the games of
Castlevania, and the
story
story links up
Well,
pretty well.
obviously, Dennis has not, because that chain blade thing that John's character ended up getting was supposed to be from one of the Castlevania games, one of the last ones I played, where he had just a massive. He always had the whip, but he had this massive chain whip, and it's so beautiful. And I'm like, man, I want to bring that to Botched, and no, he didn't.
No, unless it's
always sunny in Philadelphia.
Game of
and
Thrones.
Game
Dennis
of
doesn't
Thrones.
really watch
Dennis
it.
doesn't really watch it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what
If
is
you
it?
do ever find
If
time,
you do ever
should
find
add
time,
Steins
you
Gate
should
to your
add
list.
Steins Gate to your list.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie.
About
The
10
first
episodes, you're gonna
about
be
10
like,
episodes, you're gonna be like,
where is this going?
where is this going?
But then about episode
But then
11,
about
it just
episode 11, it just
goes full throttle.
goes
Yeah,
full
I've
throttle.
seen,
I've seen.
I've seen Westworld.
I've seen Westworld season 1, so I'm used to that feeling.
not knowing what's going
Not
on.
knowing what's
to the
going
last
on.
minute.
to the
Well,
last
and
minute.
part of the
confusion
for
for me
the main
is
character,
the main
depending
character, depending on who he's talking to, goes by
names.
3 different names.
And so I was like, wait,
and
what?
so I was like,
Who?
wait, what? Who?
And so it took me a
So
minute.
it took me a minute to suss that
What
out.
are
I
they
was like,
talking about?
who are they talking about?
So
All right, gents.
So
Our audio is
our audio is echoing
All right,
apparently.
let me check on. I'm gonna do two
apparently
things.
pretty badly.
Your face is pretty badly. And that's because I reset something. I probably didn't turn off the audio.
Catch that stuff.
Catching the rain down in Africa. All right. Yeah, that should fix it. Give it a second, everybody. Yeah. It looks like it's just responding to the soundboard now. So.
All right.
I think we's ready. I want to add one more thing to the notes if we have time to get to it. Put it down. I'll probably put it here.
Now your faces are frozen. Improvement question mark.
We're just we're just keeping very still.
Nope, it is frozen. Why?
Charles, it's frozen with Charles mid bite.
So
We are all just working on our ventriloquist acts.
what is going? What now? So it's the program that's grabbing the video that went sideways. Give me a second. I was trying. I told it to stop the audio. It didn't. And while I was on the other computer fixing, because I can close it 2 ways, and I'm that guy's going to make sure to stop everything 2 different ways. That should fix it. We are moving again. Everything's good. So. Be nice. What did I say? What did I say? Rude. Oh, I said your face is echoing. Wow! Of everything I've said on this show, the 2 ladies of Pokemon call me out for saying your face is echoing. All right. Yeah, I think we are ready. It looks like we're ready to go. Thank you, everybody, for telling us our audio sucked, because I actually hate when something goes wrong like that. So, thank you.
Charles doesn't need a master ball to catch technical issues.
So when Brian comes back, Phil, do you want to be the permanent 3rd seat? Here? 'Cause
No,
I'm out.
Are you leaving?
I'm out.
You're
It'll be you and
Okay,
Joe
yeah.
and Brian. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm out, man.
That's fine. That's easy.
I'm leaving all my podcasts except my solo ones because nobody.
Just
argues
remember,
with me on
Phil,
my
this
solo
is one of
ones.
the only podcasts on the network that's actually making money.
I can fix that. Let me sing my Jay Silent Bob song right now, and that'll fix it.
My
so-
son just broke into my studio.
Nice.
And by making money, I mean actually able to pay for Dragon Con.
Now
right?
here's the thing: I do all of my stuff in front of the audience, and oh, Charles, technical. You know what you don't see when we have to be on the chat because it's blind going, "Hey, we're working on it." Sorry, is Ibit has technical difficulties too. He just doesn't hit go live first and fix it on air. He fixes it before he goes on, and then we're 10 minutes late.
When it was just me and Brian, there were 2 Brians.
This is the Pokemon Go therapy session
Yeah.
tonight.
And on that note, welcome to Pokemon Go Podcast. I'm broadcasting Charles McFall, riding down there in Australia of the digital video world. Joseph Hard.
Howdy. How's it going? You
And
need to catch those Pokemon.
no, apparently I don't need to catch those Pokemon because Phil Keating of Botched and Breaking the Panel and Giant Size Team Up Network has caught them all.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I had him on specifically because Joe and I, we do fine without it. But, we talk, we have fun. But Community Day just happened, and we all have stories. I want Joe to go first because I kind of know his a little bit. I'll go second. Phil's going to cap it off. Phil, you are the Brian of the show tonight. So you're going to just take our
I guess I should
stories
shave
and
my
just
head.
grind them in
Sure.
to the, salt.
So on Sunday, I had a migraine and I fell asleep, and my wife said she'd wake me up so that we could go out and get about an hour of Community Day. Well, she wakes me up with about 40 minutes left in Community Day because she had fallen asleep as well. And so we throw the kids in the car, get there. We've got about 20 minutes to actually go out and hunt. My wife catches 2 shinies. The first one she clicks on is a shiny Beldum, and I catch 0. But thankfully, my wife, she did catch 2, and she was willing to give me 1. So I got my shiny Beldum and was able to, because I only had enough candies to evolve 1. I evolved a 93% that I have been holding on to as a 93% lucky Beldum. So I evolved him and powered him up, and he's actually my 4th highest CP Pokemon right now. So yeah, he's sitting at 3455.
Wow.
So that was real nice. Yeah. So haven't gotten any new shinies other than the Beldum. So still hunting that shiny Drifloom that puts nightmares into children.
So Terry Wolf always puts up a challenge, right, in Discord, and I always ignore it because I know I'm not going to get near it. And I pulled up my screenshot here a minute ago. Now, this screenshot was actually taken. You can see it if you're on Twitch watching right now. This screenshot was actually taken 13 minutes into the event. So I probably captured 5 to 8 Beldums. Went, you know what? Just for funsies, I'm going to see what I saw. So let's just say I caught, to call it even numbers, I'd caught 8 more. So I'd caught 10. So Beldums, I'd started off with, say, scene 11, caught 10. And now I'm at scene 86, caught 81 is where I am after that. I don't know what kind of improvement that was compared to everybody else. But yes, you're not mistaken. I did not stutter there. I actually went out on Community Day purposefully. And it went sideways. It went sideways a little bit. So I told you, Joe, and I've talked about, the community. It's just, I know it's just not the community that you are talking about, that Terry's talking about, that Alberto and Ibit, where it's, man, we get together and we're like family and it's playing and we look forward to talking to each other, this and that and the other. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just being closed-minded and I just want to stay home, whatever.
You're a grumpy old man.
A little bit. And so I went out to try to get the Mewtwo. I had to play with people. So I got back on the Discord and went, oh, you know what? People were communicating. I went out. I got the Mewtwo raids done. I did a couple of them, and it was great. And I know, Terry, that's what I'm talking about. And so I was like, all right. And I was like, hey, I got some Heracross and Corsolas to trade. Who wants one? And we did some trades, and it was fun. And so at that point, that's about a month before Community Day. It's like, hey, anybody going out on Community Day? Yeah, we got a group. We all meet here on the square. It's in Covington. We meet on the square, and we just walk around the square the whole time and lure stuff. I'm like, sounds awesome. Let's do that. And there's 2 gyms right off the square in one direction. There's a gym or 2 in the other direction. So we can do some raids, right? Because I'm looking for – I got some insanely stupid amount of premium raid passes because I bought a bunch of different boxes and never use them. So I'm looking forward to doing raids. Plus, if I can raid on that kind of day with these people, it might get me a shot at getting a legendary invite. Well, I'm watching the chat and I'm watching the Discord, and and then it turns out my wife was taking my 2 older kids to some play that the 2 little ones couldn't go to. And like, I told you this for the first time like ever. I was planning on going out to do this. So she's like, what do we need to do? It's like, you know what? I'll figure it out. And so we have this little burner not Nextel, whatever, one of the pay by the month phones for the kids for the older kids when they go on a field trip or something, or they need any possibility they might need to call us. We give them that phone to take with them. So it's just a household community phone. So I went and put Pokemon Go on it and charged it up and made sure the account worked and everything. I put my daughter's account on it. And the only bad thing about that is she just turned 12. You have to be 13 to get friends. So now I'm going to have to go into the trainers club and adjust her birth date because I need her to be my friend because I need to get a stupid trade off of my books so I can get that last thing done, chasing Celebi, and go into the next, mythical chasing of Celebi, whatever research I got to do. But that's not here there. So I told my kids that morning, I said, hey, we're all going to go out. We'll walk. If you get tired, we'll come home. I've got a little stroller. And we packed snacks. And, and there's not a lot of communication on Discord. And I'm like, why not? What's going on? And then some were showing up. I showed up where they said the park. There's a handful of people there. When I say handful, like 5 or 6 people there. And, you're starting to see bodies, right? You're starting to see people show up. 10 minutes before the event starts, people start luring up the Pokestops, and everybody was losing their mind in my group. Like, what are you doing? So they're away. They couldn't hear it
ahead of time.
Yeah, they're like, I'm like, okay, one, it's not gonna matter because it will end in 30 minutes. Then we can re-lure it. It's fine, and the lures will still attract things. It won't matter. And yeah, people were dumb because people aren't in Discord. I'm telling you, there had to be maybe in the area 100 people walking around. You just saw all kind of people walking with their phones. I mean, you're talking about though, Phil. You're talking about 3 or 4 city blocks.
Sure.
It's more of a line that we go in instead of like a park where you mill around.
Yeah.
But you're always crossing paths with people, and everybody's on their phones, and everybody's out there playing. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So my kids, it's the 2 little ones. It's Rylan and Zoe. So they are 5 and 7. Or Rylan's about to be 7, so 5 and almost 7, respectively. First time they've ever played Pokemon, really. They thought it was awesome. They were trading the phone. Okay, you get to catch one. Now the other one gets to catch one. You get to spin a Pokestop, and they're loving it. And Zoe, my little one called Beldum Charger. She goes, I want to catch the charger. For her, it looked like a phone charger, right? So I'm like, hey, you know what? You catch that phone charger, baby. You get that. And so we went down the block, and I'm following, and I made the mistake of assuming I don't know anything because I don't know why. But I'd never been out to community day, so I'm going to stay. I'd like to play with people. Well, first thing they said is, we're not going to go raid. You can raid anytime. Why waste time going raiding? I'm like, because this is the only time I'm with a bunch of people, and it increases the odds of getting a freaking invite. I can't say the words I want to say. So I was a little like, fine. And I said, hey, I've got all kind of Pokemon that you don't have, like Corsolas, Heracrosses, Unknowns. I need to just do any trade. I'll trade anything. I do not give me a Pidgey. I'll trade something because I need to get this done. And everybody they were all talking to each other. They kind of ignored me. But I said, you know what? In a little bit, after we raid a little bit, or not raid, after we play a little bit, let's do that. Well, I ended up just walking away from them after an hour. But so we go up the 3 blocks to the square, and we're constantly hitting stuff and stopping and catching Beldums. It took me like 20, 30 catches before I got my first shiny. Got 2, by the way. 2 shinies. My kids who don't know shiny from a hole in the ground got 2 shinies. One of the people with us, the first the first Beldum she found was a shiny. And then she ended up, I think that was Madam Evie, Lady Evie. I'm sorry if I'm messing up her Discord name. And she ends up
Lady
listening.
Jasmine?
No, that's one of our people. No, this one is a local.
Oh, okay.
And it's something Evie. It's like Lady Evie or Miss Evie or something.
Madam Evie.
It might be. And she was fun, and everybody's fun. But so we go up the 3 blocks, we make our way, we go around the square where there's a ton of stuff, and then we start going down the side street. I'm like, okay, well, the side street just in this first block has 3 stops. And then we're going to cut back up to kind of where we parked. Okay, and then we got to our cars again. So, all right, are we going to head back to, back to where we were? No, man, because somebody come through that and knew that, he caught 3 shinies in the graveyard. Like, but the graveyard is 5 blocks that way away from everything, and there's 2 stops on the way there, and there's 2 gyms in the middle of the graveyard, and that's it. Why are we going over there? Oh, well, he caught the. It's like, and
That's where all the ghost Pokemon spawn.
well, not then, because literally nothing spawned for any of us after we got to the graveyard. We literally was walking. There's a road into it, and I'm going, there's nothing here. Yeah, I know. I've seen that too. I'm like, I should have just turned around at that point, going, no.
You just got trolled all day on
Right. It felt like I'm just gonna go back to where the 30 stops are, and so ultimately I had a disappointing community day. There's no community to it. People were not saying hi to each other. I mean, the 5 to 8 of us that were together talked to each other, and they would see some people they knew from raiding or whatever, and they'd say hi, and that was it. For the most part, I don't know what it is about this area, but nobody cared to talk to anybody else. I mean, I try to make eye contact with people like, hey, how you doing? Obviously, we're both playing Pokemon. Nothing. Just phone, and then move on. I'm like, this is the South. We talk to each other over the stupidest crap. Why are we not talking about this game? I wore my shirt. I wore the Pokemon Go podcast shirt. I was proud of it. Nobody cared. Nobody asked what a podcast was. You know, I was like, bleep it, man. I am not having a. I had a, but as you saw in my report there, I saw 86 total from the start of seeing Beldums. I've seen 86 and caught 81. So I got a number of them. I evolved a regular Metagross. I evolved a shiny Metagross. I kept a shiny Beldum. So real quick, congratulations to Thunder Muffin, who got dinged 40. So. So I was just irritated.
Awesome.
It sounds like
the first hour was good.
So they ignored you.
More or less. Well, it wasn't that. It was not. No, Joe. It's not that they didn't pay attention to me. I mean, we were walking 3 blocks away from. I'm telling you, you've seen the pictures. 20-something stops, and 3 blocks up, 1 block over, a block back. You're hitting 20 stops. They're all lured, and Beldums are just popping. Why aren't we staying where all the fish in the barrel are? You know, instead of going,
you don't have to follow people.
I know. That's why I made an angry Instagram TV video about it, going, I messed up again.
So what you don't know is there was a Discord server chat that was blocked from you, where everybody in your Discord just agreed to not talk to you on your first community day. So hopefully you won't come back to try to make weird trades for Pidgeys and whatnot.
They're like, maybe. This is the jerk who created the Discord and then abandoned it.
Yeah, I should wear a shirt saying I created this Discord, Nathan. And that's the thing, I always keep that quiet. I don't say anything about that. And now that I've rejoined and things have changed a little bit, the color doesn't show up, so you can't tell that I did that. And part of it is I did abandon it. I mean, I didn't abandon it. I made sure I had good people to take care of it and let them go and do it much better than I could have done it. But I did learn, though, Joe, that one, my 2 youngest love to do this. They keep asking, can we go out and play Pokemon? To the point, actually, I had to yell at them. Not because they wanted to play, but because they kept asking the same question. I was like, you used up all your Pokeballs. I have to take the phone with me so I can get you some more. We do not have any tonight. An hour later. So it's getting later. We're going out to play Pokemon. And then it was like the basic go to your room, go to bed, yell. I was like,
isn't that against the terms and services of Niantic?
Of what?
Handing your phone off to other players so they could play for you?
I hate you, Phil. I hate you so much right now. Because you know I can't say anything. Yeah. So, but I did learn that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed spending the time with the 2 little ones. They ate it up. They love being on the phone and playing and spinning and all that jazz. So as long as we stay in that area, they will have plenty of Pokeballs because of all the stops to keep playing. Because, you know, they miss. It would break out because I think my daughter's account is under 25. It's definitely under level 25. I think maybe 22. It might be under 20. So they were encountering some Pokemon. They really wanted a Pikachu, but the Pikachus they encountered were too high level. It kept popping out and running away. But they really, and of course they love. Oh, I got a new one because there's a lot of new ones since Crosby stopped playing, and so they get that. So I enjoyed going out with the kids. I will do that again on the next community day as long as the weather is nice. I will take them down to Covington, and we will walk around on our own in the square and wave at people as they go by, and that's the end of that because I wanted what you guys talk about, what Terry's talking about, what Ibbot almost every time after Community Day talks about, I mean, I went down, we had a group of like 15 or 20, and we were catching all these, and we raided. We did like 6 raids, and that's what I wanted. I wanted community. What I got was shooting fish in a barrel, which is okay.
Yeah, most people don't raid during Community Day.
Mm-mm.
So, somebody does, Terry or Alberto, somebody is always coming back saying they did
Terry's
a number
not
of
a
raids.
human.
That's true. Terry is a monster in a good way.
I try to when I'm not having a migraine, I try to show up about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before Community Day, because people will start gathering, and if there's any raids that are going on, people will raid before Community Day.
Well, my understanding was if you raid on Community Day itself, it helps because of what parks or whatever. It helps actually raise your chances of getting X raid pass invite.
So you can actually look on the UI when you click on a gym to see if it's EX raid eligible. And so what you're thinking about is when we were at Dragon Con, I specifically mentioned going out during what was it, Moltres Day?
Maybe that is what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was
because
maybe
on
it's the raid
Moltres Day
days.
it was all about raiding.
Well, I still didn't have much of a community, and that's really what I wanted is community.
But speaking about those special raid days, this is our last item on the list, so I'm going to skip to it, and we'll do it first since we're on this topic.
And then we'll come back to Phil's story.
And then we'll come back to Phil. Yeah,
that's fine.
But Gengar is actually getting a special raid day on Saturday, November 3rd. It's the same time frame as whatever your local time frame is for Community Day. So for me on the East Coast, it's 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And so it's going to be Gengar in all the raids. You get the free 5 raid passes, and it's a possibility that you'll get a shiny Gengar. So same thing with that they did with the legendary birds. My biggest issue with this is that what about shiny Ghastly and Haunter? Are we just not gonna get them? Are they gonna give us to them afterwards? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Couldn't they just leak them into the community like the same day that the Gengar raids?
Terry Wolf says, "Check your in-game news." Now, if he's talking about if you're talking about the tracking, the Adventure Sync, we're going to get to that. We actually know about that. We have that. But if you're talking about Gengar, let us know.
So I traditionally don't.
Oh, I think he's specifically talking to Jacket K.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But anyway, what were you saying, Phil?
So I don't traditionally get to participate in any community days because I work for a farm who runs farmers markets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from I roughly work from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. So by the time I get home, it's done. And it would be really irresponsible to play while I drive.
Yeah.
But
just get a plus.
So I was really excited about this Beldum Day because we found a wild Beldum down at Dragon Con, and I've been wanting to at least find some more or be able to evolve it without having to do the heavy lifting of walking it. So when this finally popped, I was like, oh, all right, well, this is the perfect time to dust off my Pokemon Go Plus that has been sitting in my glove compartment of my car for maybe a year now.
You heathen.
You know what? I play like a normal person, and I go out and I hit the streets with my friends. So
I don't have any friends.
Charles, what you got to do? Here's what you got to do. Next community day, you go to Craigslist, and you can find a bunch of friends that will come play Pokemon.
I can go to rentafriend.com. That's a true site. Rentafriend.com and get me a group.
So
Barry Falk, I'm sending out the BF signal. Barry Falk, I want you to fly in for November 3rd, and me and you will go raid again. That's what I want.
So thankfully for me, last Sunday was very windy. and it was community day, so I had all these Beldums plus all these weather affected wind Pokemon popping out. So when we finally got to the gas station and I opened up my app, it was like Beldum Palooza. It was absolutely
Yes.
wonderful, and I was just
Yeah.
completely surrounded. And like I have a giant 25-foot box truck, so obviously it's going to take about 25 to 45 minutes to fill that thing.
Full of Beldums.
Yeah. So actually, the first Beldum that I clicked on happened to be a shiny. It was also in the 80 percentile, so that was hot. But what I was actually more happy with is that I had a giant influx of Scythers just all over the place.
Wow. Okay.
So I traded my original Scyther that I caught in year one to a gentleman for his Charizard back in the day, and I've been trying to, find another one, and I ended up catching about 5 of them, which allowed me to evolve one of them into a Scizor, and then I can also now. I'm running into this problem where I'm not dusting anything from Kanto because I'm getting ready for Pokemon Let's Go, so I can transfer all that over. So now I have one that I can have for my living decks and have for Pokemon Let's Go. But I think when it was all said and done, I caught 3 shinies.
I thought it was like 6
No, I only caught 3
of Beldums. Shinies of Beldums.
Three shiny Beldums.
Okay.
I caught a couple other shinies along the way.
Yeah, you did.
I also popped an incense when I was driving because you guys indicated last week that it spawns every minute instead of every 5 minutes when you're in the car. So
Right, yeah, the movement.
Popped the Pokemon Go Plus back on and just was trailing behind with all my Pokemons that I was catching. So
Nice.
it was a pretty good community day for my first.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to not participate in any more.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. The community really rallied around me, and I felt the loving embrace of my people.
I hate you so much.
I was just happy that they didn't just reject me.
Yeah.
To go sit in a graveyard by themselves.
I'm so happy that I invited you on the show today. I'm loving this. On Twitch, if you see my screen, and I know Joe, you guys might not see it, but Rufus2112, he does this cool thing. I don't know how you do this, but he nicknamed his. I know how you nickname your Pokemon, but he didn't put in a name. He literally put in a circle with the number 14, a circle with the number 12, a filled circle with the number 15, and then 91 at the end, which I know is attack, defense, and stamina. Whatever. It's the 3. I know it's the 3 stats.
Yeah.
If I get the stats wrong, I get it wrong. And then of course it's a 91%.
Yeah,
Whatever
I was gonna say the same thing Nicole said. Those are emojis or Unicode.
Okay, cool. That's because that's nifty. I mean, I'm not gonna put in the effort to see what mine are, but I saw that and I'm like, that's a really cool thing that you did there. You can just copy plus paste it. Everybody, see, when you're smart and you know geeky things, one, I can teach you about a thing called real life and help you meet people and have fun and be cool like me. But secondly, you think everybody else is not smart. So salt. Yes, Rob Cat, I need more salt for this show. That's what I need. But November 3rd, long as weather holds, I will take out the 2 little ones and we'll go see if we can't find us some Gengar raids or something. Nicole.
Or some Shinx raids.
I was messing with you, Nicole.
Shinx raids would be really good for your kids because you wouldn't have any issues taking that down.
Cool. Yeah. Could it be
those tier 1
Well,
raids?
I imagine on that day there'll be people going from raid to raid to raid. I can probably tag into a caravan and do that. Yeah. So all right. Now we got some news. Oh, yeah, you know what? Part of Community Day. I'm going to skip to the end a little bit. Part of Community Day, we put out a challenge last week, and we said, catch a wild Ibit. Somebody did. Stephen Radke, over the weekend, Stephen Radke, who did make it earlier. I saw him in the chat room. He had made it to the chat room earlier. Steven caught a wild ibit and sent us a picture of it. So he found him wherever he is. Uh, you know, everyone's like, I'm sorry, he's salty today. It's like, seriously, you guys are having all the fun in the game, and I try to go be like you, and all I get is, I don't know, mud pie? I don't know.
All right.
So just typical Charles being Charles.
All right, we got some charts to look at. Oh, okay, I get it. This is salty. It is, but I had the one egg I put in an incubator before the clock started. Right.
Bad call.
I did not realize it was going to happen. It was just habit. It's like I had one incubator going. I had a 10K egg come available, so I threw it in an incubator about 2 days before the event. And then they're like, yeah, if you put it in after the event, it's like a third. And it was. And that was great. So I bought a couple more incubators, put stuff in after the event started, did great. One of the 10K eggs I put in during the event hatched a Beldum. I was like, really? Come on, man.
No.
That's nice though, because you get the candy bonus.
You
It's
got
great.
trolled.
I did. I totally got trolled, Joe. Come on, Joe.
My Lord. Oh,
I had
now
plenty of
I
Beldum
kind
candy.
of feel bad.
How were the IVs on it? Because then
I
at
don't
least
know.
They were
it's probably
terrible.
got good IVs.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the only time you get a 10K egg Beldum, and it's like a 19%.
Yeah. Charles is saltier than a lickitung. But I actually laughed at that. I was like, are you kidding me, man? Come on. I just saw 80-something Beldums, and I pineapped every last one of them. So, I have tons of candy. That was funny. And I have no idea what the IVs. I'll get the IVs while we're doing the show. I'll get the IVs on my shiny. I didn't care as a shiny. I wanted to get a shiny Metagross, so I definitely rock got a salt. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, that's funny.
That's great. But yeah. So speaking of eggs, we got some new chart going on.
We do have a new chart. So this is the new Gen 4 chart, or at least as of the last couple of days. And a lot of it is as expected, a bunch of babies in the 2K eggs, as well as several of the new Gen 4 Pokemon that we mentioned last week. And it's all pretty standard. I just like being able to see the chart. So yeah, if you go to our subreddit, you can see that for those that are listening on in podcast form.
I love that they put the shiny Marie Pendratini in as the picture.
Is that the only ones you noticed were shiny?
That's the first one that popped out. Shelder, I see a shiny Shelder.
The Beldum below it is shiny. The Shinx is shiny.
It's hard to tell with the Beldum. I get it. I wouldn't know the shiny Shinx. I haven't paid that much attention.
Snorunt, why not?
So there's a good number of them. Pineco.
Makuhita, Wingull.
I can't. It's hard to tell in the picture. It's a shiny wing. I see the green tip tail. I guess that's the giveaway.
Yeah, the Pineco you mentioned, Kabuto, Ammonite, Eevee, Swablu, Wailmer, Aron, Shelder, Togepi, Love Disc, Puchaina.
Oh, come on!
Hey, Nathan threw us some bits so I could bribe some new friends.
AKA, like half of those are showing the shiny sprites.
All right. Now is that because you can actually possibly hatch a shiny, or they just thought it'd be fun to throw those sprites in?
I don't know if you can hatch the community days as shiny. It might be possible because I've been told that you can get shiny community day from research. So perhaps you can get them from eggs as well. But all of the other ones that you can still catch in the wild, albeit they're rare, yes, those can be hatched as shiny.
All right, cool. You know what? There's some locals. Will, you're a local man, and Dodd. I'm sure you got great places to hunt. But come on to Covington. It's a good place to hunt. Let's do it together. Let's do a show. Let's do a show community day. There's some listeners in my area. Let's do that. That'd be fun. Or tell me where your great place is, and I'll come to you. I'm not gonna be selfish.
Gettysburg,
dude. That thing is so crazy, scary, awesome looking.
Yeah.
That's
For
so
the podcast
Japan.
listeners, I'm showing my Garatina on the stream.
And I haven't had time to look at Discord, so there's probably been a few raids I missed that probably could have gone to. It's been a busy couple of days at work and podcasting wise and everything else, so I haven't even looked at the Discord.
You are always welcome to come up to Community Day in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Charles. You can sleep in
Or
Dennis's house.
You could go even shorter and come to chat.
No,
Yeah,
nobody wants to
no.
go to
Let's look at the history of Joe and Community Days. I think you're 50-50 at best, sir.
I am not. It's
You guys
like
can just nap through
at
most of
least
it.
Yeah.
down there.
75.
Naps,
I
headaches.
have had migraines through 2
Yeah.
of them.
Man, I tell you guys, if I'd hit that big power mega ball, billion,
Oh, did you not win?
You wouldn't be here today?
now I'd be here and I'd be like, yep, the next community day is going to be in Cincinnati. The next other one is going to be in Tennessee, and then I would just do a community day tour around the U.S. and then I'd make sure to fly Nicole in so she could play with us.
There you go. But you didn't.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
So Reddit has some stuff about shadow balls.
So with this latest update on what was it? Not yesterday, the day before, on Tuesday, when it flipped the switch and Mewtwo was gone and Garatina was live for about 24 minutes ish, you could actually TM your Mewtwo's and get Shadow Ball and Hyper Beam, even though those were supposed to be legacy.
And I'm gonna cut to the punch real quick. It's a glitch, and no, you cannot have them back. Why'd you even ask? So go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, so a bunch of people spent a ton of TMs, and a lot of these TMs were spent after they hot fixed it, because they hot fixed it real quick. Like I said, about 24 minutes where it was possible. And so there was one guy in one of the subreddits one of the Discord chats I'm in, that was like, I just burnt 20 TMs and didn't get Shadow Ball Mewtwo. And I was like, oh,
Dummy.
ouch. So this person on Reddit, VTHS Wolfpack, they reached out to Niantic, and Niantic gave them 2 premium raid passes to say, sorry, but they're legacy. You shouldn't have been trying for it anyway, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't specifically
Yeah.
say that, but that was kind of the tone.
Yeah, they're very nice, going, just because we want to be nice, here's some stuff, but you're a moron.
So there was a glitch not too long ago with the pots and people throwing health potions.
Oh
because of
yeah,
that
where
small
they
window
did
glitch.
adjusted the CP and then they
Correct.
yeah.
So I don't know the answer, and I don't know if you guys know, but did they then replace the potions that people burned on that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I never specifically saw anybody say, hey, I reached out to them because this happened.
Sure, true. And
So.
TMs are a little bit
Yeah, they are a lot harder, but
hard
it's
harder to
like
get.
it's dear police department, I was looting during the hurricane and I broke my leg. Can you fix that for me? Like, we're just not going to arrest you. How about that? Yeah. Like, I get trying. I'm not mad at people for trying. Fine. I think you're a moron for reaching out to support, going, hey, I tried for this thing that's not supposed to happen in the game and I used resources. Can you give that back to me? No.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So,
But Emmett, come back.
I'm just saying. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, the fact that you wasted it, you're dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it was worth a shot to say, well, you know what? Even though this is my fault, let me try to somehow tweak the company that runs the game to maybe get something back instead of just sitting here with 2 empty hands.
My philosophy has always been, it never hurts to ask. All they're going to do is say no.
Yeah.
In this case, they almost said no, but they at least threw something their way.
No-ish.
I don't know. I just kind of. I personally believe tech support should be used when there's an honest to God tech issue, not when you're pissed off because the game didn't
Well,
work the way you
but
wanted it to.
this isn't tech support. This is just support.
You know, there's other things called support. Go find it on Reddit. People will let you cry that you didn't have your TMs back, and they'll support you. Like, oh, buddy, that's
I don't know.
okay.
That's we are on two different Reddits.
Well, since I'm not on Reddit, obviously I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Reddit is an echo chamber of all kinds of fun
Yeah.
stuff.
And actually, I have to see. I don't even know what my move sets are with Metagross, but it was possible I have the Meteor Mash Metagross. Yeah?
If you evolved it up to an hour after the event, it would have Meteor Mash.
It does the mash.
Yes,
It does
and
the
hopefully you
mash.
did get some Meteor Mash because it is
Is it great against Gyarados?
no, but it is by far the best Steel type attacker in the game. Metagross with Meteor Mash by far. Now, saying that and talking about its usefulness are two different things because Steel type doesn't have great matchups in general. It defends against a lot of stuff, but it's not super effective as an offensive move. It's not. Steel just doesn't have good matchups, but it is nice seeing how good how good he is as a Steel type dedicated attacker. And we've got a link here from Game Press analyzing its place in the meta. And so it's great as long as you can find a neutral or, I mean, in general, with anything when you're attacking, you want to find at least a neutral, if not super effective matchup.
Sure.
But
well, obviously you want super effective if you can. On both my shiny, which is at 2577, and my standard Metagross at 2514, they both exactly have Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash as their loadout.
Yeah.
So it's double steel.
Well,
Nice.
what I like to see here, so the conclusion, if you just go down to the conclusion paragraph at the bottom of this, they basically state, look, this is the second most powerful charge move in the game. But then they go on to say, if you missed out, don't feel bad. Metagross still has a relatively limited optimal raid use, and its performance as a gym attacker is more of a convenience than something game breaking. So the stats are there and the DPS is there, but like I was saying, because it's Steel type, it limits its usability.
Unless you want to take down a Blissey, right?
Yeah, you could
burn through a Blissey with a Steel right away.
Yeah, because Steel is one of the types that is super effective against Fairy. There's not, I think there's two types that are super effective against Fairy. I
think you're right on
that. But yeah, so yeah, Steel type. It, like I said, it doesn't have awesome matchups, but it does have a couple of niche matchups that make it very nice. And if you can find a not super effective, but just a neutral setup, it can be good there. One of the side effects that I saw people mentioning that they were happy about is that at least now less Agrons are making into their suggested attackers because they've been replaced by Metagross.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So I did the analysis. The standard one is bad. But my shiny Metagross is good IV, 67%. It's 11 attack, 15 defense, and 4 stamina. And that dropped off quickly at the end there. But it's all right. It's a decent one. It'll do the job, Donkey.
I love how that shiny Metagross looks.
Yeah,
it's great.
Looks real cool. So yeah, Nathan Epp was asking what our top 12 are looking like. So I'm flashing that on my screen, but
flashing on the show.
That's right, flashing on the screen. especially that slacking saying "paint me like one of your French women."
Wow,
Um,
Joe. Joe. Let's see. What about you, Phil? What's your top?
Oh, mine's pretty terrible actually. Because I don't raid or do much. I'm a collector, but
Yeah, me too.
here's my
Holy
top
crap!
12.
Both Metagrosses made it into the top 12. Nice, and that
So
slacking,
yeah,
my
yeah.
man.
slacking is
Metagross has pretty high CP.
my slacking's almost 4,000
My
CP on it. So
Gyarados is just over 3,000. That's my strongest.
I just need to become a higher level to be able to push that up to 4,000.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered powering up my slacking just because he's got a huge CP, but
I heard that about him.
he has performance issues.
Oh my lord!
Oh,
So
I'm
there's
never
new
gonna be
events. There are new events going on for Halloween right now, and apparently all that candy. I'm salty. I don't even
bring the
know.
worst out in people.
You do, Phil. You really do. New raid bosses for Halloween. Tier 1, Duskull, Snorunt, Shinx, and Shuppet. 2 is Sableye, Bastrovia, Sneasel, Cruella, and Mawile. 3 is Sharpedo, one of my favorites. Gengar, Granbull, Machamp. 4 is Togetic, Houndoom, Alolan Marowak, who is also... I still haven't got one of those. I think he looks cool. Absol and Tyranitar. And then Tier 5 is Regitina.
They spell it wrong here. It's Garatina, but yeah.
I thought so. I was like, well, I'm gonna read it because I know my grip on names in Pokemon is weak at best. So I'll go with Regitina, but Giratina's there.
Yeah, well, and I think it's just a play on how tanky he is because he is very tanky. Giratina is, so he's just comparing him to the Reggies. Although he's got more damage to back him up, but the problem with him is I think when PvP hits, he'll see more use. But right now, he doesn't have quite the attack power to make him great, and you can't put him in gyms as a defender. So
Mm.
his bulk doesn't do a whole lot for him, and his attack power is just not on par with some of the other higher DPS people. Like if you put dragon moves on him, Dragonite, uh, man, why am I blank? I keep wanting to call him Raymond because that's what I've got him nicknamed. Um, Rayquaza. So Rayquaza out DPSs him. Salamence out DPSs him as a dragon attacker. If you put ghost moves on him, Gengar beats him, and so does Mewtwo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's just in a weird spot. What I find the most interesting about this new setup is Togetic as a tier 4. And I suspect that because it doesn't really have anything to do with this event as far as theme goes, but Togekiss is the evolution of Togetic that we're going to hopefully be getting within the next couple of weeks. So if you're able to get to a Togetic raid, you'll want to probably use silver pinups on him if you've got those available, so that you can, especially with the double candy event right now, rack up all those candies so that you can get your Togekiss.
Yeah, Togedic's are really hard to.
Yeah,
get a
and
hold
Terry
of.
brings up a good point in the chat. Sorry, when I was talking about Garatina, Garatina actually has multiple forms, and his other forms are better than the form we've got. So that's one of the things to keep in mind is that his origin form is better than the form that we've got.
Interesting. All right. I love the look. The look is just so Japan monster perfect, you know. But there's a new quest. Somebody's already gotten this. I've seen it in the discords out there. But Spirit Bomb is the new Halloween quest. This Halloween quest is it me or is it like epically hard?
Oh man.
I mean, he said he's
Well,
like
here's the
108. 108 kept flashing. I'm like 108, dude. Come on.
I know, and I destroy my raspberries to make room in my items.
Well,
pockets.
any berry will.
Well, I
do.
understand that, but like after doing community day and I'm spinning all these Pokestops, I had all these berries that I just threw right in the garbage. And then this pops on Tuesday and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, and the Curb Your Enthusiasm music started to play in my head. But yeah, I've put a semi dent in it. I've used 63 so far.
I've used like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the only time, I've been on such a baller streak just throwing these great curveballs left and right. And now I can't land one because it's in my head.
Because you have to, yeah.
Oh God. So I'm doing great.
Now, Terry does have a good point. Even if you're going to get rid of berries, never throw them away. Just feed them to Jims for Stardust.
I don't know who Jim is, and he can buy his own berry, Terry.
But what about you, Joe? How far are you towards getting Spirit Bomb?
I am, what is it? 15 Pokemon into the catch 108. So, but I still need to spin 8 stops. I haven't specifically gone out searching for that, but I'm on quest 2.
So you got to catch 108 Pokemon. But is it any type of Pokemon? Is it anything special? Or just catch 108 Pokemon?
Catch 108 Pokemon. And a lot of people are complaining about the spin 8 Pokestops that you haven't visited before, because
that could be a little pain in the butt, depending on.
Well,
how
especially
often
for
you play.
someone
Like Terry. Terry might
like
have a hard
Terry.
time.
Yeah. The good news is that getting Spiritomb does not require you to visit those stops. You can get him without visiting those stops. So
who?
And just like all of the other special quests, this isn't going away once the event is over. This will stick in your lineup, and you can keep working on it.
All right. First off, Spirit Bomb is way better name than Spirit Tomb. Secondly, why did you correct me the first 3 times I said Spirit Bomb, Joe?
I'm sorry. I just thought you were really reliving.
I just was skipping over the T and went right to Bomb.
Dragon Ball Z all the way.
I mean, it'd be better. Spirit Bomb would be better, but yeah. I mean, I'm with Nathan. I just have to drive to a slightly different part of town, or like on my Sundays when I'm downtown Atlanta, just take a side street instead of going my main route, and I'll find stops I haven't been to.
Yeah, there was someone I worked with that had to drive 2 hours to go get 8 stops that he hadn't visited before.
Now I'm going out to Six Flags Saturday night. We're taking my buddy Hughes flying in, and cause he's that roller coaster freak nut, and he had the weekend, so he's like, I'm gonna come down. We'll do the Fright Fest at Six Flags. So him and my son do all the roller coasters in the dark. I'll be playing Pokemon. There's like 30 stops in the park, and it's a lot of fun. So I'll be doing the Pokemon all weekend there. Your Pokemon. This is more in the morning. This is like rage quit, smash your phone. Your Pokemon account can randomly disappear.
I haven't heard of what is causing this, but yes, some people are having their accounts just disappear. Like Niantic has been, from what I've heard, is they've been able to find transactions, so monetary transactions with an account number, but when they look for that account, it's not in their system. It's been completely purged.
Yep.
And so if they have backups of their database, perhaps you can still get to it. Oh, but
wait. So you're jumping a whole lot of steps here. So I try to go log in and it goes, you don't exist. I call support and then go, well, we can see that you spent some money in the game, but that doesn't exist. It's not there. Is that what you're saying? Like the server purged the account?
yeah, that's what's happening to some people. Other people, the account still appears to be there because someone's using it. Someone's still sending gifts, but he doesn't have access to it. And I've heard of that happening to some people. There was one guy that had 80 million experience. So he was level 40 four times over, and bam, just completely lost his account. He went to his his Google account on Google to see if anyone had accessed it other than him, and he couldn't find anything.
Rob Cat. Oh, that
Rob.
Thanos.
That actually happened to one of my co-hosts on Botched.
No. Was it
Yep.
Austin?
It was Austin.
Oh, man.
He stopped playing for a little bit, and then with all the quality of life and the quests and all that coming in, he was like, yeah, you know what? You and Dennis are still playing. I'm going to get back into it. Let me just log into my Google account. Okay, that's not working. Let me try my Facebook. No, it's not there either. Let me try my other Google. I don't have an account anymore. All right, I guess I'll just start over fresh. So he just, instead of calling anybody, he just picked up and started fresh. I think he was around where you are. He was like 30, 35, 36.
Ouch.
Yep.
Ouch.
So.
Yep. And apparently there's this post is also talking about the reverse happening. Someone tried to create a new Pokemon Trainer Club account, and instead of getting a level 1 account, somehow got tied to an existing level 38 account and snatched that. Like they weren't trying to, it just happened.
Huh.
And so it's just a lot of weird stuff popping up lately.
It's because it's all the ghost Pokemons are out for October.
Mick Spitty says, play Pokemon Go for me. Just give me it back when I hit level 40. Terry Wolf. Can you imagine Terry Wolf losing his account?
Yeah, but within a month he'd have another level 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's crying for you, Terry. Sorry, I tried, man. I tried to help you out.
It really would suck. It would. But yeah, I think especially because he would go out on a Monday and just pop a bunch of lucky eggs, and everything he caught would be registered as new Pokemon. And yeah, I think within a month he would be level 40 again.
Yeah.
It's a machine.
He is the
He's
machine.
the machine.
You know, in all honesty, and I'm being serious, I don't know why all of the YouTubers and all the whole Pokemon travel TV show that they did, whatever, why he's not on that. He is probably one of the biggest community leaders, true community leaders in this game. I'm not saying he's like the biggest, baddest, most experienced player, but beyond the level 40 times 12 or whatever he's at now, he's like literally like 4 or 5 times over level 40. And he says he's at 90 million XP right now.
Okay, so that's 4.5.
Okay, 4.5. He really in real life pulls together people, builds community. And to be honest, that's what I want in a community day. I want to play in his kind of group. And he really should be somehow recognized by Niantic and the people who created.
If he had a YouTube channel, they would be shipping him out all over the world, just like they are a lot of the other YouTubers.
Yeah, and he should do that, and they need to pay him so that he can still afford to take his daughter with him and all that other stuff. But beyond that, I'm trying to. Yeah, we'll keep going in order. You know what? Let's jump down. Did we talk about have a good time during Pokemon Go Halloween? We pretty much
no. We've talked a little bit about it.
Let's hit that
just
while we're on
because-
Halloween.
Yeah, we've talked about Giratina. We've talked about the double experience or double candy that's popping up. There's some limited time special research. None of them are super amazing, at least in my opinion. But yeah, there's I think like 4 or 5 special researches that are around this event. There's one that gives Sableye So there's a chance to get a shiny Sableye, but yeah, nothing crazy awesome as far as the special research goes. Get out there and get Garatina while he's still available. He'll be available until November 20th. So this seems to be their MO, where they're putting out the new legendaries for about a month. So I mean, they've done it before, but then for a while they were toning it down, and so we'll see. Drifloon is out with a wild, well, it's out in the wild, yes, with a shiny available. So if you find a yellow one, that's the shiny one. I know that Reversal is super excited for the Gengar attire that's in the shop. So the backpack.
Yeah, that's his favorite. So
Yeah, he loves Gengar, so he's been all over that. But yeah, a lot of fun. I don't think anyone's overly surprised with what they've done with this. I think the biggest surprise for me personally is the Gengar raid day that we're getting, because I mean, at least for me, I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, it makes sense in hindsight, but I wasn't expecting it.
My favorite is Stunky. I finally found a Pokemon that I can identify with, and it's Stunky.
And if you look at it,
Stunky.
If you look at it from the side, right, it's obviously a face. But the first time I saw this thing, I saw it dead on to the camera. And if you're watching my screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. It looks like his butt has eyes. It looks like his butt has eyes.
I told you.
I was like, what are these people doing? So weird, man.
Oh, he's great. No, I loved it. I mean, to just sign in and then to be actually, in Gettysburg for a change and have all these weird balloons flying around. I was like, what is going on? These are all right. And then to find out that I was also getting double candy made my day. So no, it's always a good day when you can sign in and there's new things to catch. Especially when there's
Jacket K. Joe, you I can't even, man. You gotta address that one.
So he's talking about Stunky. He said, well, what's his evolved form? Stunky Skuntank?
Yeah, I've got the book.
Skuntank. So he's talking about Skuntank. It says, and I play with the sound off, so I haven't even heard it, to be honest, but he says that its cry sounds like a wet fart.
It just looks like a new wave version of Stunky. Yeah, his tail's a comb over, like he's balding for real. So his tail's a comb over in a new wave 80s fashion.
Come on.
And then when you click on him, his tail splits, like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Well, that's exciting. So. All right, I'm having an issue. I cannot change my kid's birth date on the stupid Trainers Club. It's irritating me. But, Joe, you got an email directly about this. Now, here's the thing, Niantic. We really love that now that Joe is a media creator inside of your computer database, that we're getting a heads-up email about stuff we can talk about on the show.
Well,
that's awesome. But heads up being about the same time you put the news in the game doesn't really help us talk about it before you put it in the game. Thank you, though. But I think this is cool.
Hey, we posted this. Did you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So occasionally they do give me access to some of the artwork that's high-res artwork, but
you can use it for the title if we use that type of deal.
Yeah, but it's just their promotional artwork that they put on top of their blogs,
which you can get anyway. It sounds like.
Yeah, so. But yeah, so that's available. They give me access to their Dropbox for that, so I can look at the art assets.
I didn't know Joe was in the pocket of big Pokemon.
He is. Oh. He is.
Yeah. Well, and it's actually not even directly from Niantic.
Big Pokemon.
It's coming from they use a company called 47 Communications, and so they send out blurps like this to media people for a bunch of different things. Like earlier,
It's really to copy and paste and put it on your blog and hit
yeah,
publish
Sure.
right now type of deal.
Yep.
yeah. So like earlier in the week, they sent me something about the Game of Thrones mobile game, and I was like, and then they sent me a follow-up email. Hey, are you going to talk about this today? I'm like, so my podcast is specifically about Pokemon Go. I don't mind having these emails about these other things, because if it pertains to anybody else in the network, I can forward it on.
Pass it on. Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take you off the list. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is nice. I do wish that they gave us a little bit of a heads up, but I suppose they don't really want to do that without having us sign an NDA saying we won't disclose it until they hit go on their side. But yeah, because they want to be the first ones to announce stuff, and I get that. So, but I mean, like I said, it's all pretty much copy paste from the actual post that they're
Got
sending.
it. Pocket of big Pokemon. Got it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So here's a little note for everybody out there. Once you've done a trainer club, a Pokemon club.pokemon.com, account, which is for the online trading game, the actual play the actual game online, but also attaches to Pokemon Go and some other, and the upcoming play Pokemon game as well. It doesn't look like you can change your information other than your email address and the password.
I have heard that it's notoriously hard to switch anything in the
Yeah,
Pokemon
I mean
Trainer
it's
Club
all grayed out. And I can't change my stuff. So if I got a new email address, I could change that. But if I mistyped the birth date or my username, or somehow accidentally clicked United Kingdom instead of United States and didn't catch it until I saved it, you're not changing that. It's all locked
I wonder
out.
if you could transfer it to what was it? We talked about it like 6 weeks ago. The new the new kid accounts that they were making. I wonder if you switched it to one of those. If you had,
I don't.
if you
I'd
had
have to really research that because possibly. But the thing is, I don't want my kid to have a kid account. I want my kid to have an adult account because I need an in-house friend so I can trade and move on with Catch and Celebi. That's all I need. So
yeah. You may have to contact them and say, hey, I put their birthday in wrong or something
okay,
like
no,
that.
I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm just gonna lie on the computer when I change the years. That's one thing to lie to computers. It's a whole other thing to lie to people. I don't know. It's
I'll
really
do it for
not.
you.
But we went on about the news that we're getting from Niantic. At the same time, you just get it in game. But we're actually talking about that new Adventure Sync that has hit the game. Now, we could do this with the Plus before, Joe. You had to have the game up, but you could close your screen. You can maybe have it in the background. And it wouldn't track you. I love the comment. It's 24/7 battery drain.
Yeah, 24/7 battery. Well, so the thing that's different
Because the game will crash if you don't have your Plus on until now, right?
Yeah. Well, it'll just not keep
It'll
up.
close. It'll just close, roughly.
But the biggest thing that's different is you can opt into Adventure Sync so that it will connect to your Apple Health on your Apple devices or to Google Fit on your Android devices. So it'll actually allow you to get kilometers on your candy and eggs via Apple Health or Google Fit.
Oh.
So this
I like
might
that.
help Ibit out a lot more because Apple Watch wasn't quite doing it for him.
Oh, if
Apple
I can
and
get
Apple
my
Watch.
Fitbit linked to my Pokemon account, that would just make my day.
Yep. Yeah, that would be
So-
real nice, because then even like, I know you're not actively playing Pokemon on a treadmill, but those would still count if you're doing like your morning exercise on a treadmill or something.
Because I only got 21,341 steps in today.
Oh, is
That's
that all?
That's a lot of eggs.
Now, let me ask you this, guys. The Apple Health thing, right? Or even Google Fit. Could that just be the app that's on the phone, or do you have to have the watch / accessory? We don't know. I guess I
An
can go look at
Android
Apple Health now.
I think Apple Health has a pedometer setting, but I could be wrong. I have a Fitbit, so I haven't really paid attention. I don't have it downloaded right now, Apple Health. So but I suspect that it has a native um, pedometer tracking.
Okay. Do you want to?
There we go. Nicole says the app is on iPhone per default,
Yeah.
and it tracks steps if you enable it to.
Apparently, I've enabled it to because as of today, I've done 2,000 steps, and I didn't realize it was tracking anything.
You just when it went to the setup, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever, just get me past this.
Probably. So if I click, yeah, it's just the phone. So, all right. So how do we attach it to Apple Health?
It's not live yet.
I quit. Why are you sending me an email and game for something I can do and I can't do it? Apple? No, not Apple.
Says a new feature coming soon. They do this all the time. Announce stuff ahead of time.
It's an announcement of an announcement.
Hey, Phil, guess what? At some future DragonCon event, you might be there.
I hope not. We'll see.
Now, look up Google Fit, Jacket K. Google Fit on Android devices. So that should be your equivalent.
Yep.
There. I was not going to go buy an extra device, but apparently it is just automatically tracking my stuff. So that's pretty cool.
So there you go. Sync it up.
So, yeah, I will. When they freaking launch it. You know.
At least it's coming.
It's like the one thing in the game. The one thing, like, oh, really? I can actually earn stuff by walking? Yes, sir. Oh, no. Not now. Okay.
All right.
You didn't even know about it 10 minutes ago.
No, I didn't read it. I actually knew about it, a couple hours ago? But, yeah, I didn't read it.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Here in due time.
Just don't put your phone in the dryer, please. I don't care how many steps you want. Don't do it.
So the washing machine's fine, just not the dryer?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Nathan, that is about how that works. This last one, Ibit, not Ibit, you're not Ibit. I miss Ibit. We are so salty without Ibit. It's not even funny. I feel like I've been grumpy for the last couple of weeks because of it.
You're always grumpy.
But Joe, Meltan, right? Meltan came around, was turning into dittos. It was a mess. First off, did anybody actually catch a Meltan at all? Like one that stayed in their Pokédex?
No. Not
no.
yet.
Okay, so we found out this thing you can't actually catch can now evolve into something you can't actually have. Is that what I'm following here?
This whole thing...
I don't mean to be super salty, but when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute. That was more like a promotional glitch than a... I don't understand.
It wasn't a glitch. It was intentional. This is basically cross-promotion between Pokemon Go and the Let's Go games. Because if you followed along at all on Twitter, you'll notice that it has Professor Willow and Professor Oak collaborating on finding new information. And the Professor Oak sprite is directly like the screen caps are directly the same as what it's going to be in Let's Go. And so this is just cross promotion between the two.
Okay.
And it's funny how they talk about how, this is the first mythical that can evolve. While that's technically true, there is a previous mythical that you could breed and get a baby form and evolve into that mythical. But yeah, anyway.
All right, I got you. So I wasn't fully off guilty because I only play this game, and Jacket K is like, you can catch it if you buy a Nintendo Switch in a $60 game. Like, oh, that's right. I now can remember Joe saying that. I was like, because I remember Meltan, but it's like, but Meltan basically melted. It was just a psych gotcha moment with Ditto playing pranks on people, which I actually never saw a Meltan at all, so I didn't have to go through that disappointment. And then they're like, it can evolve. And then Paul wanted this joke out so bad, he posted it in at least 2 of our chats because Meltan shouldn't have skipped leg day, so. And Joe was like, Meltan's swole.
Well, he looks nuts.
Yeah. So it's or get it from somebody who has a game and you send them a Pokemon, Phil. You know you're going to get it. I know Ibit's already pre-registered it, so.
Yeah. No, I know. I can't wait. Mine's paid for, and I'm just waiting for it to ship mid-November. I even got myself a little Pokeball that I'm gonna carry around
Well,
like a
then bring me
nerd.
the evolved Meltan at Dragon Con, and I'll trade you.
You got it,
All
bud.
right, thank you.
I'll get right on that for you.
I
I'm not
appreciate
being
you.
sarcastic.
So I guess I need to correct myself before on because I
Before
said
you
that
wreck yourself?
no. I had stated that a different mythical could
A baby could evolve into a mythical.
could
is
have
what
a
you
baby
said.
and evolve. It actually so I was talking about Manaphy. Manaphy can breed, and you can get a Fion. I think is how you say it. And this is Gen 4. But Fion apparently doesn't evolve into Manaphy. So that's kind of weird. I'll have to look into more into that. So this is
Study into it, Professor
yeah,
Joe.
this is Gen 4. I just yeah.
Joe, if you get a Manaphy, what are you going to name it? There's only one
Manny?
name appropriate.
What?
Barbara.
Barbara Manaphy.
I knew you. I knew where you would go. So you are welcome. When you are rubbing your face and turning your back on a podcast, how do you keep up with your local podcast, Phil? Oh, what's that? You go to satchelplayer.com.
Satchel Player, where I can search any local podcast depending on where I'm at. So when I went down to Dragon Con for Labor Day, I just pulled up my Satchel Player and saw what awesome podcasts were produced in that area.
And it was awesome. You can also
It was great.
tweet at us.
I use it. I actually started using it before I even knew that you guys were friends with Bo. I heard about it on a different podcast, and I was in the market for a new player, and I really enjoy it. I think the platform's great. Tweeting at people, subbing to their Patreons right from the app. It's wonderful.
It's awesome, man. It's in all your stores, your Googles and your iOSs. So find it there. And, of course, at satchelplayer.com. I do love when they do the update. There's always some kind of smart remark in the update notes that I just look for that every time. It's awesome.
A little sass.
I dig it. A little spice to the update. We have not one but two new patrons this week, Joseph.
Yes, we do. So this week we have Will Maldonado, which
He did the phone call last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it works out, I think we're planning on having him come on as a guest next week, right?
That's the idea, yeah. Yeah, so for those of you who don't follow our Twitter, Will, of course, did a call-in last week, the Speak Pipe call, and we played it, and I joked, like, man, if it's gone, we should have you come on with a voice like that. And so he listens to the show, Will does, and he immediately tweets at me and you directly and the Pokemon Go podcast Twitter. It says something about, yeah, I'd love to do that. You know, I'm taking you up on your offer, blah, blah. I don't use Twitter, but here you go. And so Emmett jumps is like, holy cow, they don't even let my seat get cold first. And I'm like, new host, who dis? That's kind of going to cross our little corner of the internet. So that will probably be the title of next week's show is New Host, Who Dis? But yeah, Will's going to be on and guesting. And that's how you get on the show, by the way. You pay us money and you do that. So, right, Phil?
Yep.
That's how that goes.
Yep. All the Patreons.
We still need to have Terry on because we kind of teased him a while back, and he
Who?
was all set for it. Terry.
No,
Wolf.
I don't know who that is.
You know, I want to say, I was like, I want Terry. And then it's kind of like, by other people. That's what I'm saying.
Who's what?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
man.
That's what I'm saying. Tony, and then our other patron is Tony P. Henderson, who they just recently launched the Geek versus Patreon, and Tony's a good guy. He's a good all around third stringer podcast level kind of guy. So
Third.
yeah, I'm being generous.
That's high.
So check out Geek versus and Tony P. Henderson. They're awesome.
Which, if you live in Atlanta and you're using the Satchel podcast
Yeah.
catcher, it would be in your nearby.
It would be in your nearby. He calls it nearby. So on the satchel thing, as you're listening, it has a little thing down at the bottom. It shows little podcasts pop up as you move to who's nearby.
Yeah.
There's
You just got to click them to subscribe.
If you haven't heard it, it's a podcast shadow, is what it is. It's a
there you
logo
go.
shadow.
Of their logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! You guys just give them free ideas. You got to start.
We do, and Bo does not listen at all. We still haven't got the Charles is wrong button. Because,
I have one. I have one in my studio.
All right. Did you rickroll in the chat room, Joe?
No, I did not. I did post the Barbara Manatee song in the chat room.
Okay. So, quick shout out to everybody who's here. Commander Root, Darkwing, FTH, Dominic 9, LAP, Imaginary nobody. Jacket K, Just Will 77, Nidaholic 1, Conj 78, Lady Jasmine, Ludisa ×3, Mick Smitty, Mr. Tambourine 19. Wow, we got a lot of people watching tonight. Nathan EP, now_rags, Positivity Bot, which I love a bot that names itself Bot. That's really cool. Robcat 67, Skinny Seahorse, So Cool, Terry L. Wolf, VNK, Virgo Pros, and then, of course, the lovely and talented moderator of our group, Nicole0991. We love that she comes out from, is Austria? She's in Austria, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
At least that's where her eggs come from, so I assumed.
Joe, God, always crossing those lines, man. Come on.
I think it's just your dirty mind.
No, I'm a paramedic. There's nothing dirty about how the body works. And there's Kinder eggs.
What am I
You can only
on?
really get Kinder eggs, real Kinder eggs.
You're on the Awkward Pokemon podcast.
I'm making
just
exactly
the
what I do.
Pokemon Go podcast.
Well, on that note, Joe, what time is it?
It is time for random trivia.
Trivia.
Before and ik oop thrir I see ooper. I don't know how you say that, man. Apparently, it popped in right at the end of me reading off the name. So sorry. Now again, what time is it, Joe?
It is time for random trivia.
Oh, wait. Nicole posted a heart in the group, so I had to mention that too. But no, Joe, what time is it now, Joe?
Random trivia. And this week I wanted to talk about Drifloom and its evolved form Drifblim. Drifloom is the balloon Pokemon. Drifblim is the blimp Pokemon. They are ghost flying types. And like I mentioned before, you can get their shiny form in Pokemon Go. And I've been waiting for a while to talk about Drifloom because its Pokédex specifically mentions that it tugs on the hands of children to steal them away. However, it gets pulled around instead because it doesn't have
This
enough.
is a balloon.
Yep.
That's the worst villain ever. Come here, kid. Oh, crap. All right.
Well, and then other ones talk about how it's a Pokemon formed by the spirits of people and Pokemon. And then where else was I seeing it? Wandering souls gather together to form this Pokemon. There was one, oh yeah, if for some reason its body bursts, its soul spills out with a screaming sound. Like, this
Pokemon's so metal.
Yeah, you know.
Dark Pokemon. He's not really dark. He's ghost flying. But
somebody needs to do a metal song about
Pokey.
the
1, 2, 3.
origins of the souls flying out into the night.
The people who do Metalocalypse, I wanted them to do a one-off special Pokemon episode.
I'll call Brendan Smalls for you and have him do-
Pokemon Go episode. That'd be spot on.
But then Drifblim, he's a little bit bigger. So he'll pick up people or Pokemon, but then he just drifts. So he just floats around. No one knows where it's going to stop. He just carries people away. so yeah. Don't let one grab you.
Wow.
Gotta grab them all.
Man.
Don't get in the van with Drifloom. So Drifloon actually makes an appearance in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It's the first Gen 4 Pokemon to be shown. So that's pretty awesome there. it is not the only balloon Pokemon. Jigglypuff and Quillfish are also balloon Pokemon. Uh, the name Drifloon comes from drift and balloon.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
And so Drifblim, same thing, but it's drift and blimp.
Hmm.
And yeah, these guys are pretty fun. A balloon and a blimp that, try to steal
Full of
people
souls.
away and full of souls and fun times. Fun times.
Yeah.
I'm full of souls.
Dude, did you know, Phil, that Botched was actually stealing from Pokemon
I had no idea
when
until
y'all
I just.
fueled your flying
I
ship?
know. I had no idea until right now.
You know,
Actually,
apparently you were stealing from Pokemon.
It's-
So,
shame on me.
and if you thought I what I was looking at was the English version of the game, but if you actually translate the Japanese version of the Pokedex entry for Drifloom, it specifically talks about how it takes children to the world of the dead.
Okay.
So it doesn't just try to steal them away; it tries to take them to the world of the dead.
To reenact Coco.
Where they have candy.
They've got candy in that van. It'll just take you to the world of the dead.
Jesus.
So, Jacket K has been here all night and apparently was listening to your Barbara Manatee song when I did the name shout outs and he missed hearing his name. But we're going to take it one step further and play a little something special. Let's make sure I get this right. All right, right now. Right now.
Hey guys, Jackie K here, and you guys been begging for a speak pipe for forever and a half, so why not deliver for one? Hopefully this won't get ignored like the first one. Excuse me, I just got done choking over some soda. Anyways, I've been pondering what to talk about. I guess I could talk about some of the latest news that came up that's really got me hyped for the future of this game. I'll admit, Halloween was actually a little bit disappointing this year because Candy got nerfed and we got a new raid boss right when I got sick and tired of raiding. Timing wasn't that great, but I think things have been panning out better now. Especially since my biggest fear with the way Halloween's been going this year is the fear of it being more about raiding, standing still, and being with other people rather than the thing that got me into Pokemon Go in the first place, the whole walking thing. So you can bet your toonie that I'm pretty hyped about this latest news we got about the walking app, or the whole fitness thing. I was actually going to get an Apple phone and all that to get more into it. And I can't wait to really try it out. Maybe I'll actually be able to get into the whole fitness thing without having to get an Apple Watch, which would be nice.
Yeah.
And I always struggle to fit all this in 30 seconds, so goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Well,
Yeah, this will be very nice. Like you said, being able to access this fitness stuff, because previously you had to have the Apple Watch in order to get
yeah.
the pedometer to count.
Yeah.
And so being able to access this on a broader scale will be very nice.
So we have run a little bit long, so I'm not going to do the Ghostbusters World this week, maybe next week. But Ghostbusters World did finally release. I got the pre-order, which is the first time I've ever pre-ordered a free app. So it was very interesting. One day I opened up my phone and there was a new icon. And oh, man, I've been waiting. That's awesome. I clicked it, and it was in 24 hours of server maintenance. So I had to wait till the next day to play it. So I don't know why I pre-ordered it, but cool. But it's very cool. I'll give some, like we did with Jurassic World, I'll give some comparisons. But so far, fun. It captures the fun goofiness of what Ghostbusters is, and
Apparently Terry doesn't think so. I'm stoked. I'm gonna download it, and I'm gonna be waiting to hear your review.
So cool.
I wonder if Terry still plays any of the other games that he, like Draconius Go or anything like that.
You know, Terry plays Child Support Go.
Oh,
Sorry, what? No,
It's too real.
no. Terry takes still Thundercut with
I
him
know.
everywhere.
Yeah,
She's
I know, I
awesome.
know.
So
According
He's a
to
good
Lady
dad.
Jasmine, Brian has his spirit tomb.
Brian is
So-
dead to us. So no, not gonna do that.
So spoiler alert,
Terry could take a punch. He punches me harder. He's fire. I was like, oh my God. So they love me. It's like,
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize is they've met in person and they talk. We've
we
talked
have
to
shared
on and off.
drinks. Yeah.
I wonder why you had such a bad community day.
Terry is secretly in the Discord telling people to badmouth you and everything.
I am who I am.
Were you?
I need to play Popeye Go. I am what I am. I'll collect spinach all day. So, and nobody says you have to leave Go for Ghostbusters for America. That's all. All right, Phil, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, well, if you like Dungeons and Dragons and comedy, I am on a podcast called Botched, a D&D podcast. It is kind of a mashup of, I don't know, South Park and Game of Thrones. Not really Game of Thrones because our stories are good. More like your favorite characters will die. You can follow me
or
on
be named over and over,
or you know, loss of limbs, or
lose a limb. Lose a limb.
You can also follow me on Twitter at Imaginary Nomad, and I also do this other show called Breaking the Panel with Paul Klotz.
Joe, where can they find you personally? We'll do the Twitter tag in a second. Where can they find your other project?
Oh, Assorted Geekdom. It's patreon.com/Assorted Geekdom. Right now, my current setup is I put it out for my one patron, and they've got exclusive access to it for a week, and then it goes public. So pretty much everything I post there.
Nice. I did just do a drunken stint on wasted knowledge, and that should be coming out here in the next week or so. See how that plays out. A lot of fun there. You can follow this show at Pokemon Go Podcast is the email address that you can use. That's where Radkey sent us the picture of the wild Ibit. PokemonGoPodcast.com, of course, is our website where you can find the Speak Pipe tab, which is what Jacket K used tonight to get his voice on the show. And Joe did die. Joe's gone. Joe's frozen. He has fled. We just don't see the dust there. But
That's a funny joke.
So,
hey, good joke.
I like your Mega Man hood. I always
you.
love that. That's very cool. Our Reddit is r/Pokemon Go Podcast. Facebook is /Pokemon Go Podcast. Twitter's at Pokemon Go Pod. And then, of course, if you're listening to the podcast, we do this live on Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Pokemon Go Podcast. You can be part of the chatting fun and give the reactions to me being mean on air, and that's fine. And if you are just new to Twitch, or you've just now found this, or you missed half the show, this goes out in audio form. You can subscribe through Stitcher, through iTunes, through Satchel Podcast Player, everywhere that catches podcasts, you can find us, Pokemon Go Podcast. Since Joe locked, now he's back. There's 4 Joes.
No, too many Joes.
2 Joes. That's so cool.
Phil became Mega Man while I was gone.
Yes. I powered up.
So, Joe, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me at Joseph_Ard. You
can find Ibit at not part of this show, at Coverville. And I'm just being me. I haven't seen Ibit. Have not talked to Ibit in 3 weeks. It'll be a solid month before I talk to Ibit because I was off, and then he's been off for 3 weeks. So it's been
you
crazy.
saw that picture, man. He's a nowhere man living in a nowhere land.
He's definitely out and about. But at Coverville on Twitter, Bo York, who we've talked about tonight, who did That's a Podcast Player and originated this show. It is at the real Bo York. And I am at Rock God of Pod on Twitter. You can subscribe to all my stuff through there and find me at Rock God of Podcasting all across the internet universe. So, Joe and Doublespeak, what are you going to say next week?
Yeah, I'm just going to avoid balloons from now on.
Like you haven't done that before? I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're a balloonaholic. I apologize.
Drifloon.
All right. If you're on the podcast, this is where we'll say goodbye. If you're live, stick around. We're going to let you vote on the titles of the show. All right. So there's the link there in the chat room. You can click it, or you can go to PokemonGoPodcast.showbot.com. or .tv rather. Sorry. Whew, we got a lot of titles tonight with no votes so far. I'm not even reading that first one. You guys can kiss my Pokeballs. Brian now identifies as Phil. That's pretty cool. By Terry Wolf. Let's see. Charles breaks terms of service. Do you want some salt with your wine? My mixed mini. That was actually fairly accurate. That is at Nicole991 is the best mod. It keeps jumping when people vote. Salty Charles. Brian is dead to us in his spirit tomb. I like that one. The Wild Joe has fled. Charles went Beldum crazy on Community Day. Joe flashing on the screen. This might be the most appropriate. Robcat67 put NSFW question mark exclamation question mark exclamation. It's big, but it has trouble performing. No. No. Performance
episode name.
Performance issues. That one's okay. Bomb Tomb, same thing. I love that one by Terry Wolf. Phil is stunky. Barbara Manafee. And there's Candy in the World of the Dead. And make sure I didn't miss something because it's bouncing around. And right now, do you want some salt with your wine is leading at 5 votes.
It's funny.
So, Joe, how would you do the art for that one if that one wins? Would you find like a salt shaker and a bottle of wine and put a shiny Metagross up there or something?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I could do that.
Man, if you can find art, if you can find the art where Metagross's hands are out, because I know the middle evolution is the hands are out. The Metagross, his legs are on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you just go with the evolution because you have him holding wine and salt and then use that title.
Yeah, one of the easiest ones would be like the SpiritBomb. I could get it's jumping up too. Because I could put a picture of Goku with his hands up, but instead of the SpiritBomb,
it's a
Spirit Tomb.
Yeah.
Oh, it's jumping up some more.
It's at number 4. And if this is the first time you're watching this and you're like, what are you voting on? We're voting on titles. You suggest titles throughout the episode. And as you hear things, and we go over them at the end like we have. And SpiritBomb's at number 6.
Stop.
And you vote. And the winner gets their name put in the show art along with her title. So that's what that is.
Oh,
so that's Nicole. We need a list of who's won before. So you'd be like, hey, they've never won before.
Yeah, we do.
I'll have to go back through and make a list.
But right now, SpiritBomb is Nicole 0991 at 7 votes. I think she took it home.
Nicole, have you won before? Have you had?
I think she's gotten at least one before, maybe. And you know what Nicole won? The ability to give us 5 billion bits. Oh, that is the last thing to say here. If you do love the show, you can subscribe, you can follow, you can throw bits, you can cheer, you can do all that stuff to help us out. And hey, Imaginary Nomad, thank you. See, I told you that's how you get on the show. You give us some support. We'll pimp out your crappy podcast.
Thank you.
And hey, if the winner of the Powerball is a listener, we can create a brand new
level
for you.
$1 million
for a monthly charge.
$1 million patron level. Yes, Nicole is coming to DragonCon 2019.
That's awesome.
That's probably the biggest thing I'm looking forward to for next DragonCon is Nicole being there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've got a Torkoal named Nicole just for her.
You know what, Nicole? Tell me what you want out of my stuff. I've got some Unknowns and Heracrosses and whatnot. I'll save you something too. So, Jacket K, thank you very much. Everybody's throwing some stuff in. It's awesome. It looks like SpiritBomb won, Joe. So,
all right.
It's going to be you, man.
Get some Goku on there.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'll save you. I'll do it right now, Nicole. I'm thinking about it. Let me do this alphabetically.
And then you have extra Corsola too, don't you?
I've got, well, define extra. I've got 4. I don't really care to keep one. I was just keeping them to give away, essentially.
I don't think I traded with anybody down at DragonCon this year.
I didn't do it nearly as much as I wanted to. Or should
yeah.
have.
Like literally,
I traded with a couple of people from the house, but
our whole house was playing, and I forgot to trade with somebody.
Yeah. Well, I love because you know me, I'm just blunt about things. And I walk into the GSTU house, and he's not kidding. Like a 0991. The uh, there's what 10 people at the table, and all of you guys have your phones out doing stuff, Pokemon and trading and this and that. And I'm like, all right, hey, thank you, Nicole. That's awesome. I said, all right. True question. Just give me your honest answer. You're all playing Pokemon. You're all podcasters. What keeps you from listening to Pokemon Go podcast? And pretty much universal answer was, we just don't listen to podcasts. Like, okay, I get no argument for that. I just want to know if we can improve something, do something different. But I can't make you listen to stuff you don't listen to. So,
Nope. I'm the only one on the show for Botch that listens to anything.
yeah. And you listen
Dennis,
to a lot of stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I have to listen on 2x to get through my weekly grind. Thank God I don't have to listen to this show this week. So that
because you're on it. There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, I'm going to stop the feed because I got to get ready
See
for
ya.
the show. So thank you.
All right, bye everyone.
Thank you.